with a smile on your face.
Well, this one way. Good morning again and welcome back to Big Updates Sports Television. Yeah, always some surprises, yes. You know, on a Friday it's always a relaxed day. And yeah, thank you so much for staying tuned. We are joined now by some folks out of the Secondary Schools Football League, Tobago Zone. I'm joined by the chairman, Mr. Kerry Lynch, and of course the Secretary Treasurer. Yes, I hope I got that right. Syandene Blackman. Good morning, guys.
Hi, good morning, Marcus.
You know, and nearly didn't allow Kerry to come on interview, you know, with that jersey he had on. You have one day this morning.
You should have won at Chelsea.
Yeah.
No way. Marcus wanted me to wear Manchester.
Oh boy.
But when I took it off the hanger, what did you in mind? Okay?
Oh my God. Guys, good morning, and of course, thanks for joining us on Tobago Updates Television. It's that time again, Secondary Schools Football. I mean, what can we expect this season? In fact, before we get into this season, right? I mean, any one of you, can you share? Let's recap last season. Winners last season. I mean, leading goal scorers and top players and teams and stuff from last season.
All right, I'm going to give you as much as I can because the Secondary Schools Football League has about 7 different divisions contested in Tobago. Last year was 6. This year is an additional division. Right, so I'm going to start from Premiership. I'm going to... Well, for Premiership, we had Speyside High School in Premiership last year.
That's nationally?
Nationally.
Okay.
So the Premiership is based on the top teams in all the different zones in Trinidad and Tobago. So Speyside was a part of the Premiership representing Tobago last year, and they have retained their position in Premiership. Additionally, this upcoming season, they would be joined by another Tobago school, Bishop's High School. So we're going to have 2 schools in the Premier League this season. Championship boys and championship girls follow. The championship boys winning team would have been Bishop's High School, hence the reason they have been promoted too, because they would have won the zone in the league in Tobago and then participated amongst the other zones nationally. And then the top 3 teams were promoted. And then the last, I think they relegated the last 2 teams that were in the Premier League before. So Bishops would have won that. Championship girls was won by Scarborough Secondary School. And then we know Scarborough Secondary School also went on to win the National Girls Big 5 competition. The leading goal scorer for the girls competition was Miss Jilisha Alexander, and she was also voted the secondary school's most valuable player for that season nationally.
And that's the same Jilisha we are now seeing representing the national team.
Correct.
Under 23.
Under 23, correct. Right, and then when we moved to we had the under 16 division that was run by Scarborough Secondary School. They were defeated in the national championship. I think it was by Fatima College. And then we had the under 14 division. Tobago was won by Signal Hill Secondary School. Again, we were defeated by Fatima. And then we had the Form 1 boys was won by Speyside High School. And who did Speyside play?
St. Mary's College.
St. Mary's College. Then we had the under 15 girls that was won by Signal Hill Secondary School, and they also went on to win the national under 15 championship.
You know, and with all these divisions, right? Is there any particular ruling that you can't play? Like, let's say I'm on a 15, but I'm talented enough to play on a 18, on a 17. Is there a criteria, or you can play all if you want?
You can play all the divisions if you want, but we as teachers, coaches, etc., we would have to manage the team properly so that the students, the footballers, will not be overworked. Wouldn't face too many injuries and stuff like that. So you can play in all the divisions once you qualify.
You know, some teams just want to win, and if you have a particular player that is good enough, they will play all the divisions. You know, but is it, and to the chairman here, is this a national program, or is this just Tobago zones way of developing footballers and having all these zones?
No, it's a national program. All these divisions are played
nationally.
In fact, in Tobago, we are basically limited because in Trinidad, they play
senior girls,
senior division. Some schools play in both Premiership, Championship, right? So it's like they have a B team and they would play in the Championship.
So what's the shortfall in Tobago? Is that what, sponsorship, not enough players?
Probably not enough players per school.
Per school.
Per school.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to discuss last season. What can we expect this season?
Okay, well, I think this season in Tobago, I think the Tobago zone will be very hotly contested,
right?
Because I'm certain that each of the remaining 6 schools would want to join
in the Premiership, right?
And Bishops in the Premiership.
Yeah.
So we expect in the boys category to be very keenly contested.
Yeah.
And let's look out for the competition between Scarborough Sec and Signal Hill.
Right.
In the girls,
that's a long standing rivalry.
In that girls division, that girls division will be very, very hot. Right. So and also the under 15, we have some good
youngsters coming.
Throughout the island in each school that are really up and coming good football.
I particularly like the Form 1 competition. In that succession, you come from primary school, you get into the secondary school kind of thing by playing in the Form 1, and then you get into the different age groups.
But the Form 1 is under 13.
Under 13, yeah. Under so 13, from primary school, they come into the Form 1, under 13, and then,
a very nice competition.
Yeah, that's really good. So what are we looking to start when you are looking to start this year?
Right, so Marcus, before we jump there, I left out 2 other competitions from last year.
Yeah.
The coveted Intercol
title.
Yeah,
the
Intercol. So for Intercol last year, Tobago zone was won. Both boys and girls were won by Signal Hill Secondary School.
Big up to Signal Hill.
And then the Signal Hill Secondary School girls went on to win the National Intercol as well.
Oh, right.
Right, so back to the question that you asked. We are looking to kick off the season next week, Wednesday the 13th, at the Dwight York Stadium with a double header.
Right.
So what we are looking to do is we'll have a game at 3 p.m. which will feature the 2 top girls team from last season. So Signal Hill Secondary School is going to play Scarborough Secondary School. So that would be the first game of the championship division.
That'll be the last game?
No.
Last game,
And then the second game at 5 p.m. will feature the 2 Tobago Premier teams against each other, Bishop's High School and Speyside High School.
So girls and boys?
Girls and boys.
And any entrance fee to get in there?
The entrance fee is $20.
$20.
In uniform?
In uniform. And 40 without uniform.
I can pull up my old uniform and come inside and see about 20. So that's the season opener next Wednesday. Next in terms of the other venues for the league, are you ready, and what are the other venues you're going to be using?
Right. So far, schools would have declared the venue that they are going to use for games. We are still in a tipsy-turvy with that because, we are competing with TFA and the FA Cup that is going on. So there are times when we will have to shift games from different venues as a result of the ground's not ready or maybe because it's not available, right? Because I know we were told that for most of the venues, we have to organize our own nets and corner flags and stuff like that, which is something that the home team is normally responsible for. So we are trying our best to work with the Division of Sports. And I work very closely with Miss Lindell Hoyt Sanchez. The director. She tries very much to assist us in that purview. So even if we have a game and we have a clash with TFA, she will look for help us to find an alternate venue. So sometimes it's a bit of a challenge, but because we work so closely together, it helps to eliminate a lot of the issues that we would be faced with.
Yeah. And in terms of sponsorship, Kerry, who's going to be sponsoring the league this year? Right.
So this year the league has many sponsors. We have Sportsmax. Sportsmax is part of the sponsoring team. We have the National Gas Company, NGC. We have Coca-Cola. We have Shell. We have First Citizens Bank, and we are still awaiting other people to come on board. Like, for example, Omega XL, Unilever, the Tobago House of Assembly, and also the Ascension League.
Yeah, fantastic. You mentioned Sportsmax. Match is going to be live?
Yes, matches will be live in the Premiership. In fact, they intend to have 2 games live in Tobago. Yeah. And one of Bishop's game and one of Speyside games live in Tobago. Yeah. Well, of course...
This is Premiership, yeah.
The Premiership, but of course, as they go along in the Intercol, right? So,
and in addition to that, we are also trying to make some arrangements with some of the media houses in Tobago to get permission
Yeah.
to do
Yeah,
games.
'cause,
So I know it
yes.
had a little sour point with us and Tobago Sports Life last year.
Because I'm happy you
But
mentioned that.
as
Yeah.
being part of the national executive, I always push for our Tobago
Yes,
people
yeah.
to be involved.
Yes.
So this is something that I have been discussing
Yes.
with my executive for the past year
Yeah.
to try and get our media entities in Tobago
Yeah,
involved
yeah.
in the
Permit.
process.
And you are also second vice president of
Second vice president
Yeah,
and also responsible for players' development
Right.
within Trinidad and Tobago.
Fantastic. You've been doing a really, really good job. So chances are we're gonna have Tobago Update Television, of course, Tobago Sports Live, getting a piece of the pie in terms of
Correct.
sharing the content to Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Right. I'm getting the signal to wrap up this interview. I'm starting a campaign to lobby for more time for sports. I'm hoping guys can join me, not with your Arsenal jersey though, right? with the Manchester United jersey. But guys, so once again, we're gonna start next week. Wednesday
The
Doubleheader at the
13th,
Dwight York
York Stadium, 3
Yeah.
p.m. and 5.
Yeah.
$20 in uniform, $40 out of
Yeah.
uniform.
And let's give me those matches again next week Wednesday.
Signal Hill
Yes.
Secondary
Yeah.
versus Scarborough Secondary Girls in Girls Division.
Yeah.
And Premiership Division,
Yeah.
Speyside Secondary versus
Yeah.
Bishop's High School
So of
at
course,
5 p.m.
yeah, fans are welcome to come and support.
Come out and
Come out and
support.
support.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much. And just before you go, you can mention the other members of your committee, because I like to big up committee members now. Because
Right, so
only hard work.
the hardworking members of
Yeah.
our committee includes, of course, my chairman, Mr. Kerry Lynch. We have our assistant chair, which is Miss Nikima Williams. Well, of course, I am the secretary treasurer of the league. My assistant secretary of administration, Miss Ariana Miller. And we have the assistant secretary of operations, who is Mr. Marvin James. Ariana Miller is of Signal Hill Secondary School, Marvin James of Pentecostal Light and Life Foundation High School. And the other members will consist of one person from each of the secondary school. So all of us will come together to plan and make provisions to ensure that the league is a success, continued success this season.
Yeah, and watch me, trust me, it's not easy running these leagues, eh? It's not easy at all. You may show up and watch the matches and you may have your criticism in terms of this could have been done differently, but it's never a challenge. Never easy putting together these competitions. And ask me because I'm involved. And of course, I want to wish all the schools all the best this season, injury-free, and of course, entertain us. Good luck to you guys and your committee. All right, guys, this has been the Big Update Sports this morning. I want to show you over to Candice Jackson. Good morning, Tobago. And before we go, I have a short video to play for you. Trinidad and Tobago, Soccer Warriors, victorious last evening against Curaçao.
Back to Raymond, Andre Raymond. Towards the byline, whips it in, headed down, the debutante!